Hi guys. So last week I did a first impressions video on some new Wet n Wild stuff, and I've since been playing with them more. I am bringing you today a more thorough review of that stuff and a couple other things I picked up the next day. So I've been using all of these for at least a week and a half. So I feel like I have a pretty good idea of how I feel about them. So the first thing I want to talk about is this lovely little thing. This is a Wet n Wild MegaCushion Highlight. Now they have this whole kind of MegaCushion collection. I can't find any information whether it's kind of the spring limited edition stuff or it's a permanent thing in their line. But it comes with, there is a highlighter, a contour, bronzer thing, a few color correcting cushions like a green, a purple, a yellow, and it also comes with some matte lip creams, which I will talk about in a moment. There's only one shade of the highlight and the contour, so hopefully if this, kicks off and it's not a limited edition thing, they'll add more shades to make it a little bit more usable by more people. But let's talk about this cushion. So it is a very kind of pale icy pink. It is not, at least to my mind, glittery or even shimmery really. It's, a cool kind of cushion. Hence the name. Do you like that? So it's got this kind of icy pink shine to it. I would call this more of a shine than even a shimmer. And it's pretty. I mean, it works with my skin tone. I find it to be very natural looking. I've tried building it up a little bit, but it looked awkward. It didn't blend very well when really built up. But my biggest problem with this product, unfortunately, because I love this packaging so much, I can't even tell you. I don't know why, but I just love it. It doesn't seem to last very long. So I'll put this on in the morning and I'll be like, oh, that's pretty, yeah, go, I'll teach a class, come home, lunchtime, and I look in the mirror. I don't really see anything there. I don't know, because my cheeks tend to hold on to makeup. I have a problem with makeup breaking down on my nose, on my chin, but my cheeks are usually pretty good for holding on to stuff. So, I don't know if I could recommend it unless you're looking for a natural looking highlight that you don't need to last very long. Then you may want to check this out. But at $6, even Wet n Wild has better highlighters out there. I think it's a cute item, but that's kind of all it is, in my experience, for what I want. Next up, we have the MegaCushion Matte Lip Cream. Again, I just love this packaging so much. This is in the shade Melon Like It Is. There's also a bright pink and a purple. That's kind of almost, it's not pastel, but it's a bright kind of lighter shade of purple. I didn't get either of those because I don't find either of those shades very flattering on me. So I haven't seen what they look like in the flesh. But as far as this one goes, it has this kind of, I've seen a couple other products lately with packaging like this. I think Melon recently came out with a concealer that has the same kind of spongy ball applicator at the top, which I'm not a huge fan of. I feel like if you were to squeeze this out, let me back up. Not that I feel like, I have tried to apply this on my lips, just from the tube, and I felt like this applicator just soaked up all of the product, as you can see. There's a lot on the tip there. So what I prefer to do is squeeze a little out on my finger and then apply it that way. You could use a brush if you wanted to. I cannot get the hang of lip brushes. Help me, somebody. It is a very pretty color. I mean, it's a very spring color in my mind. Not that, you can't wear this in the winter. But it's a very springy color to me. And, well, so, again, for what I would want. This is a fine product. It's $4.99, by the way, which, I don't know, that's kind of a lot for this, at least for me. I don't find that it lasts very well. It's pretty comfortable, but I find it a little bit patchy, and I've struggled to reach for it. By the way, these cushion products are vegan. I'm so glad I saw that little thing because I keep forgetting to mention that. So there you go. But I feel like if this was a glossy product, I would like it a lot more. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of matte lipsticks in general. I am wearing one today. I'll talk about that in a minute. But this kind of color, matte, on me, it's not very flattering. It's just not very flattering. This kind of color with some gloss, now that I can get down with. If these were glossy products, I think that I would like it a lot more. But, you know, it depends on what you're looking for. Let's continue on with the lip products. So what I am wearing right now is the MegaLast Liquid Catsuit in the shade Rebel Rose. Now, I've talked about these before. I just kind of wanted to update you. When I talked about the formula of this product, I was talking about a different shade, Berry Recognize. That might be a different video. I will link it below wherever it happens to be. And I do really like the formula. Even me, not really a fan of matte lipsticks, certainly not really a fan of liquid lipsticks, but these I really like. And I've been playing with the shade a little bit more just to see if there is any difference in how they wore. And I really haven't noticed it. Those liquid catsuits, by the way, are $4.99, which I think is well worth it if you know you're going to use it, as with any product. All right. Yes. Last lip product I want to talk about. This was not in the first impressions video. This I picked up a little bit after, and it is one of the Pout and Love Gel Lip Balms. This is in the shade Love. And I do have some real winners coming up. This, I don't know. It wasn't moisturizing enough for me, and the color was not really what I expected. It's kind of patchy. I don't know. If that's your jam, then you may want to check this out. I was hoping, again, that these would be a little shinier than they are. They're not matte by any means, but, you know, the shine that's on them does wear down pretty quickly, and you're left with, in my experience with this, a kind of patchy, stain-y sort of thing. So I was personally not the biggest fan of this. We're gonna stay on the matte train for just a little bit longer. So I tried 2 of the new mascaras from Wet n Wild. So let's talk about the one I am wearing first. This is the MegaSlim Skinny Mascara. This retails for $4.99. I'm wearing it now. What I like about this is it makes my lashes very separated and very feathery. They're very light, almost ethereal looking, which I do really like. The wand is nice and skinny. I kind of go back and forth with this. Like, look at how feathered. It almost looks like there are fibers in it, but I haven't found anything to suggest that this has fibers in the formula. On the website, the description says, "Every lash counts. Our innovative skinny mascara brush has a way of magnifying every single lash. This mini magic wand offers greater precision, grabbing and capturing even your smallest lashes with intense black pigments." I don't know. I mean, Wet n Wild has never really won me over with. I've always found their mascaras to be a little bit lackluster. These are certainly better than a lot of the mascaras they've had in their collection for a while. You know, I don't find this brush to be that innovative. It's skinny, but it's also really long. I mean, I still found it pretty easy to get to all of my lashes, but this kind of clumpy formula is really freaking me out. So I found that I had to kind of force myself to use both of the mascaras that I'm going to talk about just because they're not, you know, they weren't my preference. I'm really loving the Essence I Heart Volume Mascara right now. I like the effect that you do eventually get with this mascara, and neither of them I found clumped or not clumped, fell down. I didn't find them to fade or anything like that. They stayed put pretty much throughout the day, which is certainly a win. But they're just a little bit lackluster for me. Next up, we have the Wet n Wild Lash Renegade. Cute packaging, for sure. Same sort of thing, though. Like, I had to kind of make myself use this product only because I have a mascara currently that I like a little bit better. The formula on this is fine. You know, it doesn't add as much oomph to my lashes as the Essence mascara, which I think is why I, you know, maybe prefer that one. I find this brush to be a lot more workable than I thought I was going to. Let's try to focus this. There we go. You know, it looks ridiculous and gimmicky, but you can kind of use this ball tip to get into areas that maybe you wouldn't be able to otherwise. So it's easy to work with, and it's certainly, you know, miles better than kind of the old school Wet n Wild mascaras as far as adding, you know, some oomph to your lashes. I always found Wet n Wild mascaras just added a little bit of darkness, but not much else. And this does add a little bit of oomph, but not as much as my Essence mascara. So I find myself wanting to reach for that a little bit more. This is $5.99, which, you know, I guess it depends on what you're looking for in a mascara. If you're looking for some oomph and some volume and some drama, I would say get the Essence. I think it's a little bit cheaper than that, maybe the same price. But if you really want to get a Wet n Wild mascara, I think this is probably the best one that they've ever come out with. Such a weird review, right? But that's, you know, that's just how I feel. All right, last two products were not actually in that first impressions video, but I got them, I think, the next day. This is, ooh, the foundation and concealer. So, do you like my song? Let's talk about the foundation first. So this is the PhotoFocus foundation. I have the shade Nude Ivory, which is light neutral. And this is, would be great if I could read my handwriting. This is $5.99. So it's in a nice glass bottle. The whole gimmick with this is that it's supposed to look just amazing in photographs in every light. They've tested it under 7 lighting conditions and blah, blah, blah. Personally, I don't really give a shit. I want it to look good in person. If I had a magic wand and could create my dream ideal foundation, it would cover redness. It would stay on my face, specifically on my nose. I would want it to look like skin. This hits a couple of those marks, or almost does. And for the price, it's freaking phenomenal. I will say, first off, this shade match is amazing. It's probably the best shade match I've ever had in a foundation ever. You know, and that is speaking drugstore, high-end, ever. It matches my skin tone so perfectly. Almost a little bit too pink. Which is actually fine because I've also enjoyed mixing this with my Kat Von D, which is just a little bit too dark. So anyway, the shade match is freaking phenomenal. It comes in this glass bottle, got this little paddle. It's kind of a thickish, but still rather runny texture. It does smell like paint, like craft paint, like paint you would use at summer camp. So just be aware. I don't find that it lasts very long, but you can tell, you can smell it. It blends in super easy. I've actually preferred blending this in with a brush. My one and only complaint really is that it does look like makeup. It does not blend into my skin as much as I would like in my ideal dream foundation. Would I purchase it again? Probably. For $5.99 to get a really nice, I mean, Really nice coverage, easy to work with, great shade match. Hell yeah, I would buy it again. This concealer, I have it in the shade Light Ivory. It was, sorry, there's a hair I'm not picking. That Seinfeld skit? Yeah, just did that. Sorry. Anyway, it is $3.99. It's so good. Also vegan. It is, I suppose, a smaller, it feels very light, very compact, cute packaging. How much is in it? You know what? Can I be honest? I don't give a shit. I'm not comparing grams and milliliters and all of that stuff. I think there is a little bit less product in here than, say, in the Naked Skin concealer from Urban Decay. But quite frankly, my Urban Decay Naked Skin concealer, I'm trying so hard not to use this because I really want to use that Urban Decay concealer up. But it's different. It's not as good as it was. It hasn't gone bad. You know, I can still use it, but the texture has changed. It's just not as good. So I would much rather get a smaller tube that will actually stay as awesome throughout the time that I'm using it than get a big thing that, you know, I can't finish. With that said, I love this concealer. I think it's great. It blends really easily. It covers well. Again, it's a really good skin match for me. It goes really well with the foundation. Has a little dill foot applicator. You know, it's a very smooth formula. This I really like to just blend in with my fingers. A brush works fine. Beauty blender works, or not a, I've never tried the beauty blender actually. I just have the Real Technique sponge, which I love. Works fine. Love, love, love this. $3.99. Yes, please. All right, there you have it. I hope that this was helpful in any way. You know, makeup is very personal, so it's hard to tell. But that was my experience with these new Wet n Wild products. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, smart remarks, leave them below. And I, again, will link any other videos that kind of go along with this in the description box below. So check it out, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.